What's going on, guys? This is Evan, the Dark Souls enthusiast here, bringing another Dark Souls gameplay commentary on the Xbox 360. This is actually not a part of my Ellie series of videos, but rather sort of a foreshadowing of things to come. This is my Black Knight character that's not quite complete yet. He's level 60-something at the time of this video, doing some Anor Londo invasions. I actually ran out of humanity when I was trying to upgrade or level up the Dark Wraith Covenant, so I decided I'd actually just grinded out PvP. It actually would have been much quicker to go grind humanity from rats in the sewers or something like that, but I decided to go ahead and grind it out here, doing some PvP in Anor Londo, some random invasions. These are by no means intended to be skilled duels or, PvP tutorial or anyway. This is just 40 minutes of random invasions I had. I tried to be as manner as possible, although it was pretty tough sailing. Ran into some parties of friends doing the whole 2 versus 2 thing. None of these matches are edited. This is just straight through how it went, the wins and losses. The only things that were edited were disconnects and things like that, which is very common. For those of you that don't know, people disconnect a lot when you invade and they're not like in the mood to PvP, or they just aren't designed to PvP, and I respect that. That's fine. And the way they usually do that is they send a party invite to a friend, or they get a party invite, then when it goes to party chat they get dropped from the game. That's fine. I understand that if you're not geared for PvP, you probably don't want to do it at all. Of course, my character is not particularly geared for PvP right now either, but at least it has sort of a PvP template going on with the Darkwood Grain Ring. You'll see me do a quick edit. This guy's hiding. He's got his fog ring on, and he's hiding somewhere, and I'm trying to chase him down. I'll eventually find him up here in the rafters. Anor Londo is a big place, and I found it's very common for my opponents to hide up in the rafters or something like that, particularly if they're not suited for invasions. They're not really designed for PvP, to try to use the advantage of areas like this, which can get you killed. I'm walking. You can actually run across these. You'll probably be okay if you have a steady hand on the stick, but in invasions, I tend to be as careful as I can when crossing these dangerous areas in case he's got like a Dragon Slayer's bow. You might not be able to see him very clearly, but he's up ahead by the chandelier, where the chandelier chain is at least. These guys are people like this. This is cool. I mean, I respect this strategy. You know, do whatever you need to do. He's just gonna hide over there and hope I come over. Then he's gonna try to hit me off the edge. I'm using Evelyn here. This is a non-caster character, so the use of Evelyn is actually pretty handy. You'll see that it fires 3 arrow sets there. That's a plus 15 Evelyn with heavy bolts. Does slightly less damage and is slightly less effective against shields than, say, like a plus 5 lightning Evelyn with lightning arrows. That's the highest damage you can do, but at that point you're spending like almost 2,000 souls, and Evelyn bursts like three shots. Evelyn fires 3 at a time, obviously. Excuse me. And as a result, it's a very expensive proposition to fill up with 99 of those arrows just to burn through them in PvP. This is much more renewable method here. And since this guy is content on sort of camping there by the chandelier, I just figured I'd go ahead and blast him with the poison breath there, which I happen to have equipped in my pyromancer slot. This is going to be, as I was alluding to earlier, this is going to be my Dark Knight, Black Knight rather, PvP build. I guess it's probably more of a Dark Knight. I don't know the exact item layout. Originally it was going to be a theme character. I was going to do full Black Knight's armor and like a Black Knight weapons, which seemed like a pretty cool idea, and I'm still not opposed to doing it, but the Black Knight set basically sucks, and full Black Knight set won't let me hit my more important PvP breakpoint, so I don't know what I'm going to wind up doing. I know I'm in trouble here. This is a dude with his friend. I really should have tried to mash parry to take these guys out, because when you're in these 2v1 situations, particularly with the weapon I have, this is a Black Knight sword, all of these invasions, and Black Knight sword's actually a pretty awful PvP weapon. It's vastly inferior to pretty much the other Black Knight stuff. Like, I don't like it compared to the Black Knight Great Sword. Of course, I just get rollful stomp when they 2v1 spam me. That's a dude and his friend. I messaged them between rounds and just asked if they were friends and if they were farming in Black Anor Londo, and they are, you know, that's fine, that happens. There's nothing wrong with wanting to play with your friends, I guess. It's just really hard for people like me who invade, and I don't really have like any good AoE moves. Excuse me, I'm drinking some of this Live Wire Mountain Dew stuff. I've been trying to cut back on pop a little bit for my health, and for some family reasons. I've got some family members who are trying to cut back too, and I guess if they're going to, I feel like I should too. But from time to time, I treat myself, and I haven't had any pop today. And it's 1 a.m. right now at the time of this commentary, so I figured I could treat myself while I'm doing a little gameplay commentary. So if you hear me burp or something, don't judge me. This is one of those things where I'm just kind of playing around with this guy right now. He's not built for PvP, and that's fine. And, I invaded him, so it wasn't like it was a choice, and he didn't disconnect. He fought me like a man. I really appreciate it. I respect players like this. It's just I'm not going as hard on him as I could. I mean, at this point, I really should just run up to him and start mashing attack with the Black Knight sword and guard break him. But excuse me, I said I'd go ahead and play around with my Ascended Pyro Flame. That's a fully upgraded Pyro Flame with 1 stack of Greater Combustion and 1 stack of Poison Breath, and I rotate my Pyromancy through my invasions just to keep things interesting. That's another thing. If I was going to do a Black Knight only character, all I could really use would be the Black Knight weapon and shield. And I think that treating a whole character limited to that would be pretty boring. So instead, I think I'm going to do a Black Knight weapon series where I do just the Black Knight weapon and shield, but I'll also use this character who will have like 38 points into strength to do other things too. Like, I'll just PvP with some random stuff just so you guys can see a bigger variety of weapons. I realized that I don't have the time where I can make like 30 different specific character builds for every weapon. I'm not using the bottomless box glitch to transfer items, so I'm making all these the legitimate old-fashioned way, so it just takes a while. Of course, this guy summons help, but his help isn't very good. I think his help was probably panned. He probably was expecting to sort of get summoned in and do a little, PvE, grind through Anor Londo, and then he ran into, Black Phantom running around with a +5 upgraded Black Knight sword, and he just wasn't prepared for it. That's fine. This guy, of course, is using his Grass Crest shield for the stamina. That's cool, too. It's hard to catch people in that Poison Breath, at least for me, especially in these big wide open areas like on the bridge. I'm pretty excited. Somewhere in this video stream of these 40 duels I have, I'm going to run into a guy that's has like 3 stacks of Wrath of Gods, I think, is what he said he had when I messaged him. I message people a lot in PvP if I have questions. People in the Dark Souls community seem pretty willing to answer questions, or if they don't want to answer, they don't send any like hate messages. So I like to go ahead and ask questions like that. And that's one thing I am curious about, is just how many Wraths you rocking, how's it going? So you guys will get to see me fight and beat out some Wrath spam. Since people got on my other characters for using Wrath of Gods, I wanted to show that if I can handle it with this character that has low vitality and isn't even built correctly, at that point, anyone can beat it. It's just mind over matter kind of thing. As I said previously, I'm using the Black Knight sword because I don't have a Black Knight Great Axe yet or a Black Knight Great Sword. In fact, I've killed every Black Knight in the game prior to the kiln, and the only Black Knight weapon that's dropped has been the sword, so I'm kind of stuck with it until I open the kiln, and I have to finish off Nito, and I'll probably do that tonight, no big deal. I'll open up the kiln soon. Gotta start upgrading my weapons. I gotta make my Chaos Shotl to beat sword people. You'll see me miss a couple backstabs. Since this guy is just turtled behind a shield, he's not even attacking me at all, because he has like no life, and he's just waiting for an opportunity to heal, which I'm not going to give him. I'm trying to practice my backstab techniques. I wind up not getting any, which is unfortunate. Since I'm not a backstabber by trade, my backstabs just need a lot of work, but considering how powerful backstabbing is in PvP, it's just something I need to accept as a big part of the game, and I need to get more aggressive in backstabbing. I think this guy might just be trying to practice his backstab defense. He realizes he's not going to win. At least I think he realizes that. He should probably try to grab a parry. Sometimes if all hope looks lost, just try to parry and you can randomly pull out wins. That's what I like to do, and I need to get better about like switching out to a parrying dagger, but Ramses here, which is this character's name, Ramses won't actually carry a parrying dagger on hand. He might keep one in inventory, but he's going to be rocking Evelyn in his shield hand, and in his main hand he's going to probably rock a Pyro Glove and a Black Knight weapon of some kind. Black Knight crap is so heavy, and the armor's so bad. I really wish the armor would have been one of the better sets in the game. I don't want to say to the point where it was just like completely overpowered and like the end-all be-all armor, but I still think they could have given it like more poise at least for the weight he put in. So finally he goes down and kind of Yeah, sorry. In one of these videos, I accidentally do a taunt gesture. I try to never taunt after a PvP fight because I think it's really rude. But on occasion, I might click the wrong thing and do it, but not something I consistently do. Since I was talking a little bit about the Black Knight weapons, while the Black Knight Great Axe, in my opinion, is insanely good, great moveset and great damage for the requirements, everything like that, I gotta say, I'm really disappointed in the Black Knight sword. I feel like the easiest way to describe it is the moveset of a great sword with none of the range and mediocre stun locking. It's an interesting, like, it feels like a hybrid blade where it's not quite a great sword, but definitely not like just a big sword. Like, it's not just like a long sword. I don't know how I feel about it. Not that tickled with it. Probably wouldn't main this on any character, but it's what dropped, and I intend to buy enough Twinkling Tantanite to upgrade all the Black Knight weapons fully so I can play around with them. My personal favorites have always been the Great Axe because it's so good, and the Halberd just because it gets sweet. And of course, neither of them dropped naturally. Ramses rarely has the awesome gold covetous serpent ring to get rare drops because he spends most of his time wearing the Darkwood Grain Ring and Ring of Favor and Protection, because what you put ROFP on, it doesn't come off. Amazing ring, and I needed it for the character build to get on some heavier armor with the Black Knight Great Axe, because the Great Axe weighs so much, and Aveling pulls in at 6 pounds too, so this is just a really weight-intensive character class. I almost want to take Endurance over where it is right now, but I pretty much have to stop at 40 Endurance to Vitality Gouge. I feel like if you're going to try to do like a Black Knight themed character, having boatloads of Vitality is a requirement. It's not even an option. So Black Knights, that's one of the few things they have going for them in this game, is that they just have a lot of life and damage, and I can match that. I can get a lot of life and damage. At this point, I'm lost. I can't find the host. He's hiding. He had a fog ring on. I spent a lot of time looking for him. I did some edits in these videos when sometimes the host would hide or just be a general pain. There he is. First, I thought about trying to like masquerade like I didn't know where he was, but I screwed up and revealed that I knew where he was. It's no big deal. I can tell he's not geared for this battle. That's cool. I like to clarify, when I say things like that, it is in no way meant to insult the player. I understand the invasion system on this game sometimes forces people into bad positions, and it's happened to me before where I'm in trash gear and I get invaded by some guy with like LE weapons. And I get that, and I'm not mocking anybody. I'm just saying that, you know, if you're ungeared for the fight, I'm just going to announce in my commentary you're ungeared. That's just so everyone knows why it was so anticlimactic and such a beatdown. But yeah, weapon choice in the Black Knight sword, pretty awful. There's really nothing redeeming about it except the fact it looks cool. The worst thing about it probably is you have such a limited moveset with it. The heavy attack is next to useless. Every time you mash your heavy attack, you pretty much ask whoever you're fighting to backstab you every time you use it. Frankly, it sucks. If you haven't seen it before, I think I used it in one PvP fight just for variety's sake. It's very, very slow. Your character will sort of pull the sword back, pause a second, then jab forward. If you hit him, it does a boatload of damage. It hits like a truck, and it sends people flying. It has a huge knockback, but everything about it's awful other than the coolness factor. You can't hit stun somebody with it because when you hit them, it sends them flying back, or if they have enough poise not to go flying, then they have enough poise not to get stunned at all. And it leaves you so open. Like, pretty much when you use that, you give your opponent a free win in 90% of all scenarios. So it's just a terrible, terrible, terrible weapon. But all in all, the damage is alright. I think the damage is reasonable. It's every other element of the weapon that's unacceptable. And I don't mind it. It's not like all the Black Knight weapons have to be game defining. It's just unfortunate that I'm PvPing with it right now because it's such a lousy weapon. And this is what I don't like in Anor Londo, is when I invade and I can't find. I like him to be right there on the bridge in front of me, or a quick find, because it's not like they can progress to the level until I die. I mean, I guess they could hope that I screw up and kill myself, or fall like that and take a life off myself, but ultimately they're going to have to deal with me. And I move the elevator the wrong way here. Left is always down, right is always up. I just didn't turn it the right way, so now I have to turn it twice. I don't like the elevator system in Anor Londo. I think they could have made it cooler if they just did like some walkways and ramps and things. But whatever. Anor Londo is still super pretty and probably my favorite area in the game. I'm just announcing that the elevator keeps it from being like a 10 out of 10 area to like a 9 out of 10. Here I am in the middle of my commentary analyzing the design of Anor Londo. Nice, huh? This is a white knight shield. The black knight shield hasn't dropped either. Pretty much nothing has dropped other than the sword. It's just... And you can't get the black knight armor till the kiln. So this is a... Ramses will be a late bloomer, but I think he'll be a fun character build. I look forward to doing it. I'm not big on the whole, like, let's try to hit stun our opponent to death, but, like, let's stack poison, just get into hit stun wars, but I've already been doing the backstab rapier thing for a while, and I guess it was time to try something different. I kind of like these low-level invasions. I find a lot of variety in my characters. Ah, here he is. This is the Wrath Spammer. Now, don't get me wrong. He can't spam it with crap. Like, this guy's pretty awful. And I say that once again without judgment, but he clearly has plenty of Wrath of Gods, but he has no idea how to use them. I.e., you need to stack poise. Oh, look at that damage, though. That's what... He has the... He has a helm that increases his wrath damage, and he has a ring that increases his wrath damage. So far, I'm screwing up because I'm not rolling through the wraths. I'm trying to bait him into using them at bad times. That I can just beat him down. He has a blood shield, too. That's not an ideal choice. And then he tries to finish me off. If that wrath had gone off, I would have died. And that was an intentional taunt, I believe, because he's just mashing wrath, and I don't know, I feel sort of obligated to taunt people when I do that. When they do that. If he had timed them, he could have just blown me out. Like, if he had just carefully timed his wraths, he would have been fine, but he mashed, so he died for it. Or if he had just sort of worn an armor set with a lot of poison, he would have been fine too. I apologize for that delay on my commentary. I heard some screaming outside. I looked out the window to make sure, you know, no one was in danger or anything, but no one was in danger. It was just a student being loud and obnoxious and goofy, and that's fine. I live on a college campus. I get that. But sometimes I get nervous. I'm a psychology undergrad, so sometimes I remember stories about like the psychology experiments and the terrible stories where people are beaten, raped, killed outside their apartment screaming for help and no one comes to check. There's a lot of reasons for that that psychology tries to explain. Like, if 7 people are watching an accident, no one does anything because all 7 people are waiting for someone else to do something. Or it's just a complete lack of concern. Everyone's just, you know, a variety of reasons, but one of them is certainly that they're waiting for the other people to take care of it. So I never want to be that guy that's just waiting for someone else to deal with it. When I hear screams and things like that, I like to immediately react and make sure everything is okay. You'll see my humanity going up. I was trying to get like 15 humanity, so between the losses and the wins, it probably took me like however many matches in this video. Some were edited out because I literally came in and the host just left via the party invite thing, and that's cool. I've also invaded some of the same people over and over, and that's not ideal. I'm not trying to pick on anybody. It's just once you get on a server, you might see the same people a lot unless you change areas, and around my soul level, which was like 50s and 60s, I found Anor Londo to be a very active place to invade. Of course, the Force is always active, but the Force is stupid. Doing my mandatory pointless poison breath that hits nobody unless they're hiding up in the rafters where they can't get away from it. This grass crest shield is so common at low levels. I think people overestimate the use of it. If you're efficient in your use of stamina, you don't need the crest shield. Like, to me, the grass crest shield is more of like you're planning to two-hand your weapon 90% of the time or more, so your shield is only utility at that point, so just strap the grass shield to your back and get your free stamina. Then it makes total sense, but don't really get what's going on there. I guess people think it's a good shield to block, but it's really not. It doesn't even have 100% physical block. It's not a strong choice as a blocking shield, only a strong choice for utility. And you'll see me here. Little editing fail here. I probably should have edited out this clip here where I got past the loading screen and I was here, but went ahead and left it in for whatever reason. Sometimes, like, editing these PvP videos, I was gonna add transitions and all that kind of stuff, but there'd be so many transitions and things. It just felt really gimmicky, and I kind of just like the cut to invasion thing. If you guys think you would benefit for some transitions, let me know. If you guys think it really doesn't matter, let me know. I've invaded this guy before, and this isn't ideal either. I'm not trying to invade the same people over and over. Like I just said, sometimes you gotta make do with what you get. One thing about using Evelyn against more than one target is you have to keep track of both because your character won't. He has to reload. He's not smart enough to not reload. Like once he starts reloading, he has to go through with it. Right now, this is not a good time to use Evelyn. Like, yeah, I just switch off because I realize this isn't going to work. I should not be using Evelyn right now. And there I screw up really bad. I could have had a backstab on that guy. Possibly a fatal one, but I unfortunately had my stupid Black Knight, or I had my Pyro Glove out still, and I'm sitting there, my character's looking at the Pyro Glove like, dude, I've used my Toxic Mist. I don't know what you want me to do. General bad playing there. But, see, now I know I'm in trouble, and it's 2 versus 1, so manners are out the window in 2 versus 1. So I'm going to go run behind this big dude and crack a Humanity and heal. I don't like to crack Humanities to heal, both because, 1, because it messes with my resource conservation, and 2, because, well, you're not really supposed to heal at all in PvP. Unless you're using faith heals. Like, miracle heals, as far as I know, are considered legitimate, but popping Humanities and chugging Estises is typically considered bad manner. And, well, I don't try to get too up on the community things like I said on my other video. From time to time, I do, I try to, at least do the bow and stuff like that. Like, let's be manner here, let's bow, let's not taunt, etc. And here we invade a dude who, I don't know if he's AFK, he's not bowing back. I don't remember exactly what happened in all these invasions, but he seems like he's AFK, he's not doing a whole lot. Sometimes you gotta be careful, like, when you're right around like this, sometimes they're trying to disconnect, and I don't go for that. Like, if you're trying to disconnect and get out, I'm just gonna kill you. Like, sorry, I'm not trying to be rude, it's just, getting invaded is part of the game, it's part of the downside of being in human form. And sometimes you just gotta eat it. Like, I've been invaded many times where I'm just trying to summon Solterre for a Sunlight Medal, and I get killed. But Humanity is not so rare that it'll be, like, game-breaking for you to lose a couple Humanity here or there. Here comes another Dark Anor Londo. Whenever I invade in Dark Anor Londo, it seems like really bad things happen. Of course, I've got the Sunlight Maggot Helm in my inventory to help with my visuals. I find that I do better without it, though. Like, this helps me find people that are hiding, but it helps them find me. Sometimes I can actually get people pretty well if I just sneak around and come up behind them like that. I don't know. There's a lot of different strategies to PvP, and that's why I'm so hooked on Dark Souls right now. Like, because the game itself is so good. In my opinion, it might be one of the best RPGs I've ever played. And because it's so good, I enjoy the process of making PvP characters. It gets a little old. I mean, I think I could do without going through the Bed of Chaos boss fight ever again, but that said, I do find a lot of pleasure in building these characters and not glitching to get them. Like, I grind them out and get them the fair way, and it just, I don't know, it's rewarding. At the end of the day, I enjoy making them and make some characters, then take them to bout against other people's characters. I think the least fun I have is like 3v1, 2v1, stuff like that, when I don't really get to adequately test my character. At least not the way I like to. These are all designed for 1v1. They're not like designed for like crowd control, I guess. And the only thing I know that would be crowd control would be like Black Kryn Great Axe to just swing left and right, and I don't have that right now. Or I guess Wrath. Wrath's like an all-purpose solution. But if anyone wants to know like when Wrath becomes overpowered, it's not when people like me use it. Wrath is overpowered with people who stack like Havel's armor, then it gets nuts. Now I don't know what happens here. Like, I get Rolful stomped, and I can't tell if these people are both, like, they're both coming at me. I don't know what's up with that. I don't know if these were two friends that were dueling against each other, or if, like, they didn't want me to interfere. I don't know. But all I know is they both charged me, not attacking each other, and just Rolful stomped me. Like, I just got rolled. I think they're just, I think he'd already been invaded by that Dark Wraith, then I invaded, and they were like, hey man, this is a private fight, get out. And then I got rolled. And of course, here's this dude and his buddy. We spend all day in Dark Anor Londo together, 2 versus 1. What I really should do is just go run away. Like, a great way to deal with these people that are like 2v1ing you and you have limited chances of winning. You don't think you can beat them 2v1. Like, I know I can't beat these two guys. Not unless they screw up really bad. It's just go like run in some area that's extremely dangerous for the host to come and just chill there for a while if you've got the time. Black Separation Crystal out, or if you've got the time, go on like a narrow walkway where they can't both charge you and just start like shooting arrows at them, or to start swinging two-handed when they come around the corner. You know, just be a general pain. This guy's coming in with homing soul arrow. This guy's coming after me with like homing soul arrows, and his buddy's behind me with like a buff sword. I think that's Sunlight Blade, and I'm just like, dude. Then of course I try to Evelyn and I get blasted because I point Evelyn the wrong way and start firing and drop my lock on because I'm unsmart. I should have just ran far, far away and Black Separation Crystal. I knew it wasn't going to work out, and I'm not really about letting this dude and his friend get their free souls. That's just not really my thing. I try to get a little cheeky and come up here and get him where they can't see me. His buddy sees what's happening, but the host is not smart enough, and he walks right into it. That almost worked out. I think I could have won there if instead of shooting with Evelyn, if I had swapped to my sword and just two-handed it and just beat him down. Evelyn pushed him back. You know, it hit stun him into not killing me, but unfortunately, the Evelyn reload, my character's too stupid to not reload. Then he just smashes me. I just get blown out. And that's fine. It was a good match. This guy's summoning help. That's fine too. I don't really mind when people summon phantoms to help. I just, the minute they do, I know it's not like a duel where I have to, you know, where we're going to be bowing and being really man, or like, ooh, Tac Knife veteran. That guy likes Call of Duty. I like my tactical knife on my knife. Run around with marathon lightweight commando. Sorry, my channel started as a Call of Duty thing, and that was something that would break my streaks a lot. Was just guys, jerks running around with the Tac Knife commando thing in Modern Warfare 2 and just breaking my streaks. Something I'll never forgive or forget Infinity Ward for putting into a game. That's another conversation for another time, but seeing that account, man, brings back a lot of memories of a game that I played a lot of that was probably never a good game. Whereas at least on this game, when I look back and reflect on it, I can talk about how awesome this game is. This is going to be a good one. Very rarely does this happen. Like, I pull the lever to move the bridge, then I get on it, then they call the elevator. Normally, I always have to turn the lever and go down. Like, these guys, they want to go. Like, they're calling me. I thought about trying to turn the lever just to throw them off their game. Like, maybe one of them got on the bridge and the other one didn't. But I decided no. So I decided I'm going to get really cheeky here to do, like, the falling attack. I should have went for, like, a greater drop, but I didn't. This, I'm going to go for the all-in kind of strategy. One guy's guarding, the other guy throws his Sunlight Spear into me, but I poised through it because Spoice is goofy, and I blow up the host. It was pretty awesome. Take my bow and get out of that world. That's my favorite one in the whole video series, that and beating down the Wrath of God guy. I can't wait to get this guy to soul level 120. This one will cap out at 120 instead of 125 and just PvPing in the kill, and it's going to be awesome. Of course, here we are in Dark Anor Londo again. Dark Anor Londo all the time. One kind of player I keep losing out to is people that have Lightning Zawandier. Like, I know the weapon's moveset and I know how it works, but I just can't move in on them. Like, whenever I try to roll past them, they roll backwards. They don't whiff heart attacks. They know better than to use their heart attack, and they just swing their standard attacks in front of them, and I just can't move in through it because I don't have enough poise. Because I don't have, like, the 76 breakpoint poise or whatever to go through it. I've got, like, less than 55. I can't even take a single two-handed claymore hit, so I gotta be really careful. I'm struggling to beat people in, like, full Havel's sets. That's something I really have issues with, is the full Havel's shield tank. Like, that's a big problem for me. It'll get better once I get a Shodel, because I've used a Shodel against those kind of guys before, and it helps a lot, but until I get there. I could have had him there. Now I'm scared because I know he's Zawandier. I've got like a mental barrier. When they do that jumping attack, they whiff really hard. You can mash roll forward twice, get behind him, and backstab him. Of course, just like no damage. My Evelyn barely scratches that dude. Evelyn's not really, it's more of like just to harass people. Like when they try to flask, you can blast them with Evelyn to break the flask. Or when they're like near death and they're running from you, you can just chase them around with a lock, and the minute they try to do anything, you can just Evelyn them. Stuff like that. Here we're playing like cat and mouse, trying to get behind each other for instant kill backstabs. Or since he has that Havel shield, I know he has more than enough stability to tank through my swings, and in full Giant's armor, I know I can't stagger him. And he's host so he can heal too, so it's kind of like everything about this situation is bad. I almost got behind him there, but he turned around in time. So you're right there. Pyro flame him and he just walks through it, no problem. Hit him twice. And he flasks, and I'm too stupid to react correctly. Because this... Sorry, I'm just getting really tired of the Hazel Shield people. Then he manages to drill me with his R2 Heavy and just blows me away. Then does his little childish point down taunt about how awesome he is because he can spam his flask. I'm jealous. I wish I could spam my flask and hide behind Hazel Shield. Sorry guys, I'm not bitter at all. I'm not bitter at all about that one. I hate those ones when like you invade and you feel like you should have won and you didn't and you know it's completely on you. Like that guy did a jerky tactic, but I could have had him easily, and I didn't. But there'll be plenty of duels like that, and there'll be plenty of duels where I pull out the clutch, so shouldn't let it bother me like that. It just every now and again it gets to me. So another topic I kind of want to discuss is, what do you guys think about the rumored Dark Souls DLC that I think likely is coming? I'm convinced that it seems more likely than not we'll get something, but the question is, what will the quality be and what will the focus be? This guy, of course, is spamming magic. This is just not really a good idea. If you're going to use magic, you have to be really careful because it leaves you open for the backstab instant kills, and it just leaves you vulnerable in general because you can't move or cancel a cast. And especially using magic like that, which is basically going to hit me and bounce off. Like Crystal Soul Arrow and stuff like that, stuff you can put out that actually protects you is fine. Soul Spear is good if you can hit people unaware. You can catch them out of stamina so they can't roll out. Like, there's a place for it in PvP, and it's a strong choice. Like, magic is not a bad choice for PvP. It's just you have to be careful with it. And spamming Greater Soul Arrow really isn't that great of an idea. But anyway, DLC. There's a lot of things I'd like to see in the game. Of course, the standards would be new armor, new weapons. I don't think the patch is going to affect... the DLC, assuming it comes out, I don't think it's going to really affect the PvP very much unless it brings some new weapons and armor that are significant. I don't see the patch being PvP oriented. The vast majority of the players on this game, is my perception, are playing strictly for single player, which is cool. I mean, it's a great single player game, and I play mostly for single player as well. It's just only recently where I've really gotten into this like PvP madness, and it's a good time. I really enjoy it, but I definitely think that the patch isn't going to cater to the small audience that PvPs. And I think that in terms of addressing the PvP complaints in this game of most players, including my own, you could just patch some things, like mess with the Darkwood Grain Ring in some capacity, change some odds ends. It wouldn't take a whole lot. So new weapons and armor would be a good middle ground for both players and both players who want PvP and PvE. That seems ideal to me. A new area might be cool, just something for players to explore. I don't know, this game, it felt complete to me. I mean, I would love to get new content. I would love if they just kept releasing DLC for this game. I'd buy DLC for this game for years, but it felt like such a complete game out of the box. I don't necessarily know what I'd buy for it. I mean, it's a great thing that it was complete out of the box. I'm glad it wasn't like a DLC whore where I feel like it's just overcharging me for things that should have been in the first revision. Like, no, it definitely felt like this was a complete game, but because it felt so complete to me, I have no idea what they're going to include. I feel like the big lake, the Great Ash Lake, would be something you could... It's a huge area, and it's an amazing area. I feel like you could definitely do something with that. Maybe put in some kind of, like, weapon crafting thing. I have no idea. Another boss... Maybe just an area where you can, like a boss fight arena. Like if they just did like a DMC, like Devil May Cry Bloody Palace thing, that would be sweet. Because the boss fights in this game are really entertaining, and I would love to try like, different weapon variations and stuff against the bosses. But I have to play through the game all the way to each boss to try it. Like if I could just fight Ornstein and Smough like on a whim, man, that'd be a huge rush. Like that would be sweet. I think on New Game Plus, I'm just gonna leave a character like right at Ornstein and Smough, and then just never finish that fight. That way I can just homeward bone out right before they go down. That would be pretty sweet. Because I think Ellie can do that. I don't think she needs anything. I mean, it'd be nice to have the Lord Vessel just for warping, but I don't think there's anything she needs really after Anor Londo. Like, once she gets to Anor Londo, she's pretty much good to go. I mean, without the Lord Vessel, it'll be a pain to go back there, having to go through Sin's Fortress over and over, but that might be worth it. Of course, that guy loses just because once you get stun locked, you're pretty much dead, which is why poise became like the name of the game. That'd be something that'd be interesting to play with, like a weapon that ignores poise. Never can hit stun. Like a low damage weapon that can hit stun for days, regardless of your poise or something like that. Some way to counter poise might be neat. I'm not sure. I'd like to see all sorts. So pretty much any DLC will satisfy me as long as it doesn't break anything, which I don't find very likely. Being DLC, I do expect it to be kind of gimmicky. I haven't really found a DLC yet that didn't feel a little gimmicky. Like, I guess on Fallout 3, I have very fond memories of Broken Steel being an amazing add-on DLC. That was more of an expansion, though. It'd be cool if this game's DLC was actually an expansion as opposed to like a $5 DLC. Like, I'd be willing to go like to the bank for this game, like $30+ DLC. Oh yeah, for sure. Pretty much any price will work as long as it's legitimate content. So I'm pretty excited about it. I hope the rumors turn out to be true and we can get some cool DLC going on. If you have some thoughts what you might have to see in the DLC, throw them in the comments. Maybe we can get a little discussion going. I'm not sure. I'd like to see some stuff to make the PvP more interesting, or just some things that mix that up, but I think, like I said, new weapons and armor, that might be man, that guy's, he's got the Dragon King's weapon there with the shockwaves and stuff. That thing's pretty sweet. I'm a big fan of that weapon. I don't have a character that's ever used it, but every time someone uses it on me, I think it's pretty sweet. It does kind of bother me he's rocking the full Havel strategy. If I had not missed my backstab there, this fight might have been over, or at least he would have been in a serious situation. Like, this is stupid of me to go back in this room where we're in like a circular confined area because his weapon's so powerful. And he is legit begging me to backstab him. I'm just not doing it because I'm not smart and I'm playing badly. Sometimes that's the trick, like there's nothing wrong with your ability, just playing badly. Like there, having the wrong pyromancy out, and stuff like that's stupid. I know if he hits me once, I'm stun locked out, because I don't even have 55 poise. That thing, I can't guard through that. I can't poise through that. If that hits me, it's just happening. That shockwave's so cool. It's impractical though, because it eats your durability and stuff like that, but it's always so cool. And I can't really just like run in and start mashing him. He has so much poise that I'll hit him and he'll keep going, and it's just not going to work. And with the shield out, with that stability and that much poise and everything he's got on, it would just wipe. Like, I'm in a bad situation. I really just need to pyro glove him down very slowly and maybe try to fish for backstabs, because like that tactic, yeah, that didn't work at all. He just mashed me. And I had a chance to get out there. I rolled under one. If I would have just rolled behind him, I might have backstabbed and instant killed him. I pretty much handled that fight wrong in every way, but I'm okay with it because the weapon he's using is probably about 3 times sexier than mine. So I'll allow it just based on the sheer balling of his weapon there. He loses points for wearing the Havel setup, but I didn't see him ninja flipping, so maybe he's all right. I don't know. I can't remember if I invaded this guy earlier in the video or not. Like, some of these people I invade, they just die before I even see them and stuff like that. It's like, huh? I've enjoyed doing these. I really enjoy doing these PvP commentaries, but it takes a little bit of effort to get them out. It might have been smarter to break these up into segments so I could upload like 15-minute clips at a time for like 3 videos instead of just like the one here. So I have more content to put out more regularly. I've missed a couple days on my uploads, I know, but grad school gets in the way, so that's just going to have to happen. Is that guy throwing? Yeah, I think that guy's throwing poison arrows at me. That's cool. This guy, I'm not really sure what his character build is, but it's just not. The fact that he's always in human form in Anor Londo kind of tells me he wants to PvP, and I could be wrong, but I think his build looks kind of lousy, so I'm not real sure what's going on here. I probably should have sent him a message and just checked what was up, like if he was trying to PvP or I just kept invading and ruining his day, because like sometimes if someone messaged me and says like, dude, why do you keep invading me and like wrecking me? You know, I don't choose who I invade, but in situations like that, I'm willing to crystal out just to be, you know, a nice guy. I'm not PvPing to grief. I never would. And there's that horrible R2 I mentioned. Yeah, that's the Gravelord sword. But like honestly, I don't PvP to grief. I PvP for fun and for the challenge, so I would feel bad if I was like just ruining somebody's day. This weapon is such a narrow moveset. Like they know I'm just gonna start mashing R1 in their face. I don't have any other options. Of course, this guy starts healing, but that doesn't really work. I wasn't two-handing, and the one-handed swing is pretty lousy. This weapon is just not a strong choice, but like I said, we're gonna try a bunch of Black Knight weapons. He knows he's in trouble. He can't. I'm staying too in close for him to pop heals, and I'll chip him out of nothing else because his shield isn't really particularly effective against anything I'm using. So right now, I'm just kind of waiting for my opportunity. He's throwing daggers, which that's not going to work. I could pull out Evelyn and just start like popping him, but I guess why waste the arrows? He basically gets one-chopped. Alright guys, after a long series of random topics in the commentary and the end of the PvP, there we are. I hope you guys enjoyed the matches. I know this wasn't high-level PvP in the killing or anything like that, but I needed humanity for the Dark Wraith Coven, so I did some invasions. I thought I would share. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Everyone take care.